In the magnificent winter palace of mighty Tsar Nikolai, di istana musim dingin yang megah milik Tsar Nikolai yang perkasa, Emperor of all the Russias, Kaisar seluruh Rusia, a grand ceremony was just beginning. Sebuah upacara akbar baru saja dimulai. A royal prince from a faraway kingdom had come to ask if he could marry the Tsar's daughter. Seorang pangeran yang datang dari kerajaannya sangat jauh meminta untuk menikahi putri dari Kaisar Tsar, Prince Alexia, Putri Alexia. And everyone in the palace was waiting to see what present the prince had brought for the Tsar. Dan semua orang di istana sedang menunggu untuk melihat hadiah apa yang dibawa pangeran untuk Kaisar Tsar. Because if it was big enough or expensive enough or clever enough, karena jika cukup besar atau cukup mahal atau cukup pintar, the Tsar would agree to the marriage. Tsar akan menyetujui pernikahan tersebut. But as soon as Princess Alexia saw the crown prince of Anatolia, tapi begitu Putri Alexia melihat putra mahkota Anatolia, she knew that she did not want to marry him. Dia tahu bahwa dia tidak ingin menikah dengannya. He was too old, dia terlalu tua, and he had a squeaky giggling voice, dan dia mempunyai suara cekikian yang melengking, and a silly mustache, dan kumisnya yang konyol. Then she saw his present. Kemudian dia melihat hadiahnya. It was a beautiful little ship, kapal kecil yang indah, carved in shimmering gold, diukir dengan emas berkilauan. The prince said he would make one just like it for the Tsar to sail in it. Pangeran berkata bahwa dia akan membuat kapal seperti itu yang besar untuk Kaisar Tsar untuk berlayar. If he could marry the daughter, jika dia bisa menikahi putrinya. Tsar Nikolai was very excited. Tsar Nikolai sangat bersemangat. He called Alexia to come and look. Dia memanggil Alexia untuk datang dan melihat. It was pretty, she said politely. Sangat cantik, katanya dengan sopan. I suppose it does something special? Saya kira itu bisa melakukan sesuatu yang istimewa. She knew that her father liked to have things that were different from those of ordinary people. Dia tahu bahwa ayahnya suka memiliki hal yang berbeda dari orang biasa. When the prince replied that there was nothing special about the ship, ketika pangeran menjawab bahwa tidak ada yang istimewa tentang kapal itu, except that it was made of gold, kecuali kapal terbuat dari emas, Tsar was not satisfied. Tsar tidak puas. He wanted something better. Dia menginginkan sesuatu yang lebih baik. Perhaps you can make it fly, suggested Alexia. Mungkin kamu bisa membuatnya terbang, usul Alexia. Fly, giggled the prince. Terbang, pangeran cekikian. Fly, snorted the Lord Chamberlain. Terbang, dengus Lord Chamberlain. But the Tsar thought it was a brilliant idea. Tetapi Tsar berpikir itu adalah ide yang bagus. And he ordered his imperial messenger to send out his command all over the kingdom. Jadi dia memerintahkan utusan kekaisarannya untuk mengirimkan perintah ke seluruh kerajaan. He would let Alexia be married to the first man who brought him a ship that could fly. Dia akan membiarkan Alexia menikah dengan lelaki pertama yang membawakan kapal yang bisa terbang. Thousands miles away from the royal palace, ribuan mil jauhnya dari istana kerajaan, in a little wooden cottage deep in the gigantic forest, di sebuah pondok kayu kecil jauh di dalam hutan raksasa, lived three brothers with their mother and father. Hiduplah tiga bersaudara dengan ibu dan ayah mereka. There was Sergei, who was clever but very lazy. Ada Sergei yang sangat pintar tetapi malas. And Boris, who was not so clever but just as lazy. Dan Boris yang tidak terlalu pintar tapi sama malasnya. And their youngest brother, Pyotr. Dan adik bungsu mereka, Pyotr. People call him the fool because he never said very much. Orang-orang memanggilnya si bodoh karena dia tidak pernah banyak bicara. And kept his thought to himself, dan menyimpan pikirannya untuk dirinya sendiri. His brother left him to do all the work. Kakak-kakaknya meninggalkan semua pekerjaan untuk dilakukan olehnya. Cutting wood in the forest, menebang kayu di hutan, and helping his parents in the house, dan membantu orang tuanya di rumah. When Sergei reached the Tsar announcement, ketika Sergei membaca pengumuman Tsar, he went to his parents. Dia pergi ke orang tuanya. Showed them the notice, menunjukkan pemberitahuan itu kepada mereka. and asked for money so that he and Boris could go and build a flying ship for the Tsar. Dan meminta uang agar dia dan Boris dapat pergi untuk membangun kapal terbang untuk Tsar. The father counted all his savings and gave the golden coin to Sergei and Boris. Sang ayah menghitung semua tabungannya dan memberikan koin emas itu kepada Sergei dan Boris, leaving just a few for Pyotr. Hanya menyisakan sedikit untuk Pyotr. But when he heard the story about the flying ship, he smiled. Tetapi ketika dia mendengar cerita tentang kapal terbang, dia tersenyum. And said his brother could have his money too. Dan dia mengatakan bahwa kakaknya bisa memiliki uangnya juga. To help them on their adventure. Untuk membantu mereka dalam petualangannya. Sergei and Boris took the food their mother gave them. Sergei dan Boris mengambil makanan yang diberikan ibu mereka. Their father's old gun to help protect them. Dan senjata tua ayahnya untuk membantu melindungi mereka. And all the money the family possessed. Dan semua uang yang dimiliki keluarga itu. And set out into the forest. Dan berangkat ke hutan. As soon as they were out of sight, begitu mereka menghilang dari pandangan, Boris asked Sergei how they were going to make a flying ship. Boris bertanya kepada Sergei bagaimana mereka akan membuat kapal yang terbang. But Sergei just laughed at him. Tetapi Sergei hanya menertawakannya. We're not even going to try, he said. Kita bahkan tidak akan mencoba, katanya. We are going to spend all this money and have some fun. Kita akan menghabiskan semua uang ini dan bersenang-senang. The next day, as they were sitting on a log in the forest eating a delicious lunch they had bought with a golden coin. Keesokan harinya, ketika mereka sedang duduk di atas batang kayu di hutan sambil memakan makanan siang yang lezat yang mereka beli dari koin emas, an old man suddenly appeared in front of them. Seorang lelaki tua tiba-tiba muncul di depan mereka. Good day, master, he said. Selamat siang, para tuan, katanya. I am poor and hungry. Aku miskin dan lapar. Could you give me a little food? Bisakah kamu memberi saya sedikit makanan? But Boris and Sergei shouted at him. Tetapi Boris dan Sergei meneriakinya. And threatened him with the gun. Dan mengancamnya dengan pistol. And made him go away. Dan menyuruhnya pergi. Meanwhile, Tsar was telling Alexia she will never be married. Sementara itu, Tsar memberitahu Alexia bahwa dia tidak akan pernah menikah. All because of her silly idea about the flying ship. Semua itu karena ide konyolnya tentang kapal terbang. Alexia explained that she had tried to think of something impossible. Alexia menjelaskan bahwa dia telah mencoba memikirkan sesuatu yang mustahil. She did not want to be married to anyone just because he brought a grand present for her father. Dia tidak ingin menikah dengan siapapun hanya karena dia membawa hadiah besar untuk ayahnya. In the forest, Pyotr and his parents were very worried. Di hutan, Pyotr dan orang tuanya sangatlah khawatir. Their food was almost finished. Makanannya hampir habis. And they had no money to buy anymore. Dan mereka tidak punya uang lagi untuk membeli makanan. They hoped the brothers will come back soon with the fortune. Mereka berharap kakak-kakaknya akan segera kembali dengan membawa uang banyak. And the flying ship that they must have built by now. Dan kapal terbang yang pasti sudah mereka bangun sekarang. They did not know that Boris and Sergei had spent all the money on food and wine and gambling. Mereka tidak tahu bahwa Boris dan Sergei telah menghabiskan semua uangnya untuk makanan, anggur, dan judi. They had even sold their father's gun. Mereka bahkan telah menjual senjata ayahnya. And were too ashamed to come home. Dan mereka terlalu malu untuk pulang. After many more days of waiting, setelah beberapa hari menanti, it was agreed that Pyotr should go and search for them. Mereka setuju bahwa Pyotr harus pergi untuk mencari mereka. He put a little bread and a bottle of water into his bag. Dia memasukkan sedikit roti dan sebotol air ke dalam tasnya. And said goodbye to their parents. Dan mengucapkan selamat tinggal kepada orang tuanya. Then he stepped out into the cold wind and snow. Kemudian dia melangkah keluar menuju angin dingin dan salju. Following the same direction as his brother. Mengikuti arah yang sama dengan kakak-kakaknya. On the third day of his journey, pada hari ketiga perjalanannya, weary from plodding through the snow, lelah karena berjalan lambat melewati salju, he sat down on a log to rest and eat less of his food. Dia duduk di atas sebatang kayu untuk beristirahat dan memakan sisa makanannya. At once, the same old man appeared again. Seketika, lelaki tua yang sama muncul lagi, begging for some food, meminta makanan. It's only bread and water, said Piotr. Hanya ada roti dan air, kata Piotr. But you're very welcome to share it. Tetapi, Anda dipersilakan untuk memakannya. The old man touched Piotr back. Orang tua itu menyentuh tas Piotr. This doesn't feel like a bread and water. Rasanya tidak seperti roti dan air, katanya. It feels like a roast chicken and some crisp red apple. Rasanya seperti ayam panggang dan apel merah segar. And when Piotr opened the bag, dan ketika Piotr membuka tasnya, it was exactly as the old man said. Persis seperti yang dikatakan lelaki tua itu. I wonder where the cold have come from, said Piotr. Aku ingin tahu dari mana asalnya, kata Piotr. I wonder, said the old man. Ya, aku juga ingin tahu. As they ate the food, Piotr told the story of his brother and the flying ship. Saat mereka menyantap makanan, Piotr menceritakan kisah saudaranya dan kapal terbang. Then the old man told him that if he found a flying ship, he had to remember one very important thing. Kemudian lelaki tua itu memberitahunya, jika dia menemukan kapal terbang, dia harus mengingat satu hal yang sangat penting. What's that? asked Piotr. Apa itu? Tanya Piotr. If anybody asks you for a ride, said the old man. Jika ada seseorang yang meminta tumpangan, kata lelaki tua itu, no matter who they may be, tidak peduli siapa mereka, you must never ever refuse. Jangan sampai kau menolaknya. I'll remember that, sir, said Piotr. Aku akan mengingatnya, Tuan, kata Piotr. Then he began to yawn. Kemudian dia menguap. So he spread his cloak on the ground. Jadi dia membentangkan jubahnya di atas tanah. Lay down and fell asleep. Berbaring dan tertidur. At once the old man jumped up and began to hurry around the snowy glade. Seketika lelaki tua itu melompat dan mulai bergegas mengitari rawa salju. With a wave of his hand, it sprinkled the ground with the little stars. Dengan lambaian tangannya, dia menabur tanah dengan bintang-bintang kecil. And out of the ice and snow, a glittering ship began to grow. Dan dari es dan salju, sebuah kapal yang berkilauan mulai tumbuh. It had the neck of a swan and the tail of a dove. Perahu itu memiliki leher angsa dan ekor burung merpati, and wing which the old man conjured up from the tiny fallen feather of a bluebird. Dan sayap yang disulap oleh lelaki itu dari bulu-bulu kecil burung biru yang jatuh. When Piotr woke up, he found himself flying inside a magic ship. Ketika Piotr bangun, dia mendapati dirinya terbaring di dalam kapal ajaib. He looked around for the old man. Dia mencari lelaki tua itu, but he had vanished. Tetapi dia telah menghilang. And Piotr hardly had time to wonder if he was still dreaming when the ship rose into the air and began to fly up through the trees and out into the open sky. Piotr hampir tidak punya waktu untuk bertanya-tanya apakah dia masih bermimpi ketika kapal itu berangkat ke udara dan mulai terbang menembus pepohonan dan keluar ke langit terbuka. He was just beginning to enjoy the ride when suddenly an arrow flew past his nose and hit the mast with a thwong. Dia baru saja menikmati perjalanan ketika tiba-tiba sebuah anak panah terbang melewati hidungnya dan mengenai tiang dengan dentingan. Far down below on the ground, jauh di bawah tanah, Piotr could see a man with a bow waving and shouting. Piotr dapat melihat seorang pria dengan busur melambai dan berteriak. Room for me? He yelled. Apakah ada tempat untukku? Dia berteriak. Piotr said yes. Piotr berkata, yes. The ship flew down as if it knew what Piotr wanted. Kapal terbang itu mendarat ke bawah seolah-olah tahu apa yang Piotr inginkan. And the bowman climbed on board. Dan orang yang memanah itu naik ke kapal. He shook hands with Piotr. Dia berjabat tangan dengan Piotr. Sharpshooter's my name, he said. Sharpshooter adalah namaku, katanya. You could have hit me, you know, said Piotr. Kau bisa saja mengenaiku, kata Piotr. But the sharpshooter replied that he had aimed at the mast. Tetapi sharpshooter menjawab bahwa dia telah membidik tiang. and he never missed anything he aimed at. Dan tembakannya tidak pernah meleset. I could hit a target so far away you couldn't even see it. Aku bisa menembak target yang jauh bahkan kamu tidak bisa melihatnya. He boasted. Dia membual. Piotr just smiled at the ship soar into the air once more. Piotr hanya tersenyum saat kapal sekali lagi melambung ke udara. They had not flown very far when they saw below them a tall man who had to hop around on one leg because his other was tied up behind him. Mereka tidak terbang terlalu jauh sampai mereka melihat di bawah mereka ada seorang pria yang sangat tinggi yang harus melompat-lompat dengan satu kaki karena kaki yang lainnya diikat ke belakang. Piotr offered to untie it. Piotr menawarkan untuk melepasnya, but the man hopped backward before he could touch the rope. Tetapi pria tinggi itu melompat mundur sebelum dia bisa menyentuh talinya. You must not untie me. Kau tidak boleh melepaskan ikatanku. That would never do. Hal itu tidak akan pernah berhasil. You see, my name is Lightning, and I run so fast no one can catch me. Kamu lihat bahwa namaku adalah Lightning, dan saya berlari sangat cepat sehingga tidak ada satu orang pun yang bisa menangkapku. That's why I keep my leg tied to slow me down. Karena itu, aku harus mengikat kakiku untuk memperlambatku. Then, to everyone's surprise, he sat down in the boat and fell fast asleep. Kemudian dia mengejutkan semua orang. Dia duduk di perahu dan tertidur dengan lelap. They were just about to set off again when Piotr heard a very quiet voice behind him. Mereka baru saja angkat berangkat lagi ketika Piotr mendengar suara yang sangat pelan di belakangnya. It came from a little man with the biggest ears that Piotr had ever seen. Suara itu berasal dari seorang kecil dengan telinga terbesar yang pernah Piotr lihat. I knew you were coming, said the little man. Aku tahu kamu akan datang, kata lelaki kecil itu. Whose name was a listener. Namanya adalah listener. Because I heard you talking yesterday. Karena aku mendengar pembicaraanmu kemarin. But we were 100 miles away yesterday, said Piotr. Tetapi kami berada 100 mil jauhnya kemarin, kata Piotr. Oh yes, replied the listener. Oh ya, jawab the listener. I can hear things other people can't. Aku bisa mendengar hal-hal yang tidak bisa didengar oleh orang lain. Piotr was not sure whether to believe all the story they told him. Piotr tidak yakin apakah harus mempercayai semua cerita yang mereka ceritakan kepadanya. And he was quite glad that he found 2 more passengers who did not seem to be anything special at all. Dan dia cukup senang ketika menemukan 2 penumpang lagi yang tampak tidak istimewa sama sekali. The Forester with his red beard and big bundle of twig. Forester dengan janggut merah dan seikat ranting yang besar. Listener told them he could hear the bells and trumpet of the Tsar Palace. Listener memberitahu mereka bahwa dia bisa mendengar lonceng dan trompet dari istana Tsar. Nobody else could hear anything at all. Orang lain tidak bisa mendengar apapun. But then after a while, tetapi setelah beberapa saat, through a parting in the clouds, melalui celah dari awan, they could see the palace domes and spires in the distance. Mereka bisa melihat kubah dan menara istana dari kejauhan. Soon the ship began to descend, and they found themselves landing in the palace courtyard. Segera kapal itu mulai turun dan mereka mendapati diri mereka mendarat di halaman istana, where they were immediately surrounded by uniformed soldiers with spears and sword, di mana mereka segera dikepung oleh tentara berseragam dengan tombak dan pedang. When the Tsar saw the flying ship, ketika Kaisar Tsar melihat kapal yang terbang itu, he thought it must belong to a prince or a king. Dia berpikir bahwa kapal itu pasti dimiliki oleh pangeran atau raja, and sent his chamberlain out to welcome them. Lalu dia mengirim bendaharanya keluar untuk menyambut mereka. But when the chamberlain saw that the ship was full of ordinary poor people, tetapi ketika bendaharanya melihat bahwa kapal itu penuh dengan orang-orang yang miskin, he decided they were not fit to see His Majesty the Tsar. Dia memutuskan bahwa mereka tidak layak untuk melihat Kaisar Tsar. In the palace, di istana, Alexia was thrilled at the sight of the ship. Alexia sangat senang melihat kapal itu. And even though the Chamberlain said that it was full of peasants, meskipun bendahara raja menyatakan bahwa kapal itu penuh dengan orang-orang biasa, still asked her father to bring them inside. Alexia tetap meminta ayahnya untuk membawa mereka masuk. But the Chamberlain whispered to Tsar with a different plan of his own. Tetapi bendahara raja berbisik kepada Tsar dengan rencananya sendiri yang berbeda. He said that Piotr and his friend must have stolen the ship, and so the Tsar could punish them. Dia berkata bahwa Piotr dan teman-temannya pasti telah mencuri kapal itu, sehingga Tsar harus menghukum mereka. Or instead, he could set them a task so difficult that they would fail it. Atau sebaliknya, dia dapat memberi mereka tugas yang begitu sulit sehingga mereka akan gagal. And then the ship will belong to him. Kemudian kapal itu akan menjadi miliknya. And Piotr and his friend could be sent away. Kemudian Piotr dan teman-temannya bisa disingkirkan. Tsar, who always took the advice of his Lord Chamberlain, agreed to the idea. Kaisar Tsar yang selalu menuruti nasihat tuan bendaharanya menyetujui gagasan itu. Alexia decided to go outside and see Piotr and the ship. Alexia memutuskan untuk pergi keluar untuk melihat Piotr dan kapalnya. Hello, Alexia said. Hello, kata Alexia. It's a beautiful ship. Can you make it fly? Kapal yang indah, apakah kamu bisa membuatnya terbang? Piotr explained that the ship only seems to fly when it wanted to. Piotr menjelaskan bahwa kapal itu sepertinya hanya terbang jika dia menginginkannya. But he invited her to come and look at it. Tetapi Piotr mengundang Alexia untuk datang melihatnya. He held her hand to help her up the step. Piotr memegang tangan Alexia untuk membantunya naik ke atas. But as soon as they were on board, the ship suddenly began to move. Begitu mereka berada di atas kapal, kapal itu tiba-tiba mulai bergerak. It soared up into the sky where the two of them began to swoop and glide around the turrets of the palace and up into the cloud. Kapal itu membumbung ke langit bersama mereka berdua dan mulai menukik dan meluncur di sekitar menara istana dan naik ke awan. While they were flying, saat mereka terbang, Piotr told her the story of his adventure. Piotr menceritakan kisah petualangannya. I'm Piotr, the woodcutter, he said. Aku Piotr, si penebang kayu, katanya. What's your name? Siapa namamu? It's Alexia, said the girl. Namaku adalah Alexia, kata gadis itu. As the ship flew down again to land in the palace courtyard among the soldiers, saat kapal terbang itu turun lagi untuk mendarat di halaman istana di antara prajurit, Piotr said that all he wanted to do was to find his brother and go home to his mother and father. Piotr berkata bahwa yang ingin dia lakukan hanyalah menemukan saudara-saudaranya dan pulang ke ayah ibunya. He had never heard of flying ship and the princess. Dia tidak pernah mendengar tentang kapal yang terbang dan putri raja. Don't you want to marry her? asked Alexia. Apakah kamu tidak ingin menikahinya? Kata Alexia. Oh, I am just simple fool, said Piotr. Aku hanya orang bodoh biasa, kata Piotr. I wouldn't be suited to the daughter of the mighty Tsar. Aku tidak akan cocok dengan putri Tsar. I'd much rather marry someone like you. Aku lebih suka menikah dengan orang sepertimu. What do you do? Apa pekerjaanmu? I'm the princess serving maid. Aku hanyalah pelayan putri, kata Alexia. I hope you will come again, said Piotr. Aku harap kamu akan datang lagi, kata Piotr. I'll try, said Alexia. Akan ku coba, kata Alexia. But as she skipped back into the palace, tetapi saat dia melompat kembali ke istana, the Lord Chamberlain was coming to tell Piotr and his friend of the impossible task he had set for them. Bendahara raja datang untuk memberitahu Piotr dan teman-temannya tentang tugas mustahil yang telah dia tetapkan untuk mereka. 1,000 miles away across the mountain was Lake Volskoye. 1000 mil jauhnya melintasi pegunungan ada Danau Volskoye. A magic lake of silver water, danau ajaib berisi air perak. Piotr's task was to fill a bottle with this water and bring it back to Tsar. Tugas Piotr adalah mengisi botol dengan air perak itu dan membawanya kembali ke Tsar. Then he will be able to marry the princess. Kemudian dia akan bisa menikahi sang putri. If he fail, jika dia gagal, the ship will belong the Tsar. Kapal yang terbang itu akan menjadi milik Tsar. And they would all be sent away. Dan mereka semua akan diusir. But the water had to be delivered by the last chime of 12 o'clock. Tetapi air itu harus diantar pada lonceng terakhir pukul 12. And it was 5 minutes to 12 already. Dan waktunya hanya 5 menit sebelum jam 12. They knew that the only chance was to get the ship fly again. Mereka tahu bahwa satu-satunya kesempatan adalah membuat kapal itu terbang lagi. But however hard they try, tetapi sekeras apapun mereka berusaha, pushing it and begging it and shouting at it, mendorongnya, memohonnya, serta menariknya, the ship will not budge. Kapal itu tidak mau bergerak. The noise woke lightning. Suara itu membangunkan Lightning, who as usually had been fell asleep, yang biasanya tertidur pulas. They told him the task. Mereka memberitahu tentang tugas itu. And he said simply, dan dia hanya berkata, I told you I could run. Aku sudah memberitahumu aku bisa berlari. Untie my leg. Lepaskan aku. Give me the bottle. Berikan aku botolnya. And that was the last they saw of him as he flashed through the gates of the palace and disappeared over the hills in the distance. Dan itulah kata terakhirnya mereka melihat saat dia melintas melalui gerbang istana dan menghilang di atas perbukitan di kejauhan. Inside, Princess Alexia had herself been running to see her father. Di dalam istana, Putri Alexia berlari menemui ayahnya. She wanted to marry the man who had brought him a flying ship. Dia ingin menikahi seseorang yang membawakannya sebuah kapal yang terbang. But the Tsar told her she could not possibly marry Pyotr. Tetapi Kaisar Tsar mengatakan kepadanya bahwa dia tidak bisa menikahi Pyotr, since he was just a poor woodcutter. Karena dia hanyalah seorang penebang kayu biasa. Then the Lord Chamberlain told her about the latest task that Pyotr had to perform. Kemudian bendahara raja memberitahunya tentang tugas yang harus dilakukan Pyotr. Alexia was very upset because she knew the Chamberlain had deliberately made the task impossible. Alexia sangat kesal karena dia tahu bahwa bendahara raja sengaja membuat tugas itu mustahil dilakukan. And it seemed that it's really was. Dan sepertinya memang begitu. Because outside there was still no sign of lightning and the clock was showing 1 minute to 12. Karena di luar masih belum ada tanda-tanda lightning dan jam sudah menunjukkan 1 menit sebelum jam 12. The friends peered anxiously at the distant hill. Teman-teman mengintip dengan cemas ke perbukitan yang jauh. Everything becomes suddenly very quiet. Semuanya tiba-tiba menjadi sangat sunyi. Then listener said, I can hear him. Lalu listener berkata, aku bisa mendengarnya. They all laughed and clapped at the news that he was coming. Mereka semua tertawa dan bertepuk tangan mendengar kabar kedatangannya. But then listener said, I can't hear him coming. Aku tidak dapat mendengarnya akan datang. I can hear him snoring. Aku bisa mendengarnya karena dia mendengkur. The friends realized that Lightning must have fallen asleep again. Semua teman-teman menyadari bahwa Lightning pasti tertidur lagi. But how could you wake someone up if you could not even see him? Tapi bagaimana kamu bisa membangunkan seseorang jika kamu bahkan tidak bisa melihatnya? Sharpshooter stepped forward. Sharpshooter melangkah maju. He gripped listener by the arm. Dia mencengkram tangan listener. If you can find him with your ear, he said. Jika kamu dapat menemukannya dengan telingamu, katanya, I will wake him with an arrow. Aku akan membangunkannya dengan panah. They climbed to the top of the palace wall. Mereka naik ke atas tembok istana. No one dare make a sound as listener strained his ears to catch the noise from across the far-off mountain that only he could hear. Tidak ada yang berani bersuara saat listener menajamkan telinganya untuk menangkap suara-suara dari seberang pegunungan. He's by the lakeside because I can hear her the water lapping. Dia ada di tepi danau karena aku bisa mendengar gemercik air. And he must be under the tree. Dan pasti dia berada di bawah pohon. Because I can hear the bees buzzing in it. Karena aku bisa mendengar lebah berdengung di dalamnya. It is an apple tree. Itu pohon apel. Because I can hear the munching of caterpillar in the apples. Karena aku bisa mendengar kunyahan dari ulat di apel itu. The sharpshooter swung his bow from side to side. The sharpshooter mengayunkan busurnya dari satu sisi ke sisi lain, fixing his eyes on what no one else could see. Mengarahkan pandangannya pada apa yang tidak bisa dilihat orang lain. Trying to find the spot where lightning was sitting. Mencoba menemukan tempat di mana lightning duduk. Then suddenly he shouted, "I got him!" Dan tiba-tiba dia berteriak, "Kena dia!" "Don't shoot him," cried Piotr. "Jangan tembak dia," kata Piotr. But sharpshooter's arrow was already on its way. Tetapi anak panah sharpshooter sudah meluncur. It sped through the air. Panah itu meluncur di udara, over hills and field and mountain, melewati bukit, ladang, dan gunung. And as sharpshooter had promised, seperti sharpshooter sudah dijanjikan, he hit exactly the target he had aimed at from 1,000 miles away. Sharpshooter menembak sasaran yang dia tuju 1,000 mil jauhnya. The point of the arrow cut the stalk of an apple. Ujung anak panah sharpshooter memotong batang apel. The apple dropped down and down through the branches of the tree. Apel itu jatuh meluncur ke bawah melalui cabang-cabang pohon. And bumped lightning on the head. Dan membentur kepala lightning. He woke up at once. Dia segera bangun. Grabbed the bottle of the water he had already filled. Mengambil botol air yang sudah dia isi. And began to run so fast he was almost invisible. Dan mulai berlari sampai hampir dia tidak terlihat. The clock was striking the first note of 12 o'clock as he skidded to stop inside the courtyard and gave Piotr the bottle. Jam berdentang pada nada pertama pukul 12 saat dia meluncur ke dalam halaman istana dan memberikan botol itu kepada Piotr. The Tsar was waiting on his throne with the Lord Chamberlain on one side and Alexia on the other as Piotr ran in. Kaisar Tsar sedang menunggu di singgasananya dengan bendaharanya di satu sisi dan Alexia di sisi lainnya saat Piotr berlari masuk. Bow low before him, membungkuk rendah di hadapannya, and gave him the bottle of silver water as the clock struck the last note of 12. Dan memberikan sebotol air perak saat jam menunjukkan nada terakhir 12. Then Piotr stood up and spoke gravely to Tsar. Kemudian Piotr berdiri dan berbicara dengan serius kepada Tsar. Your Majesty, he said, Yang Mulia, katanya. We have performed the task you have set us. Kami telah melakukan tugas yang telah Anda berikan kepada kami. Now, we ask you to take the ship and let us go. Sekarang kami meminta Anda untuk mengambil kapal terbang itu dan membiarkan kami pergi. We all came here to serve you, but we rejected. Kami semua datang ke sini untuk melayanimu, tetapi kami ditolak. Now we would like to go home. Sekarang kami ingin pulang. As for the princess, adapun putri Anda, I could not marry the daughter of someone who has treated us in this way. Aku tidak bisa menikahi putri seseorang yang telah memperlakukan kami seperti ini. I would much rather marry someone simple and kind. Aku lebih suka menikah dengan seseorang yang sederhana dan baik hati. Like her serving maid, Alexia. Seperti pembantu putri raja, Alexia. Serving maid, roared the Tsar. Pelayan, raung Tsar. Alexia is not a serving maid. Alexia bukan pelayan. She is the princess. Dia adalah putri raja. My daughter, and you will never marry her. Putriku, dan kamu tidak akan pernah menikahinya. Take him to the dungeons. Bawa dia ke lubang bawah tanah. The guard rushed forward to grab Piotr. Para penjaga bergegas maju untuk menangkap Piotr. "Are you really the princess?" asked Piotr. "Apakah kamu benar-benar seorang putri?" tanya Piotr. There were tears in Alexia's eyes as she nodded and said. Ada air mata di mata Alexia saat dia mengangguk dan berkata, "Oh Piotr, I am sorry I deceived you." "Oh Piotr, aku minta maaf telah menipumu." "So am I," said Piotr. "Aku juga," kata Piotr. As he were dragged away, saat dia diseret pergi. The Chamberlain stood at the head of the guard as they ordered the other friends out of the palace into the snow and began to close the gates against them. Bendahara raja berdiri di depan para penjaga ketika mereka memerintahkan teman-teman yang lain untuk keluar dari istana ke dalam salju dan mulai menutup gerbang terhadap mereka. But the red-bearded Forrester turned to the Chamberlain as the gate closed and said boldly. Tetapi Forrester berjanggut merah menoleh ke bendahara raja saat gerbang ditutup dan berkata dengan berani, "Tell your master, Tsar Nikolai, that tomorrow we come at the head of an army to rescue our friend Piotr." Katakan pada tuanmu, Tsar Nikolai, bahwa besok kami datang sebagai pemimpin pasukan untuk menyelamatkan teman kami Piotr. Then the gate slammed shut. Kemudian gerbang dibanting menutup. That was a brave thing to say, but we have no army, said listener. Itu adalah hal yang berani untuk dikatakan, tetapi kita tidak memiliki pasukan, kata listener. We will have one tomorrow morning, said the Forester. Ya, kami akan memilikinya besok pagi, kata Forester. That night, the Forester took his bundle of twigs and laid them out on the ground. Malam itu, Forester mengambil bungkusan rantingnya dan meletakkannya di tanah. He gave a few to each person and told them to go and plant them in the snow around the palace. Dia memberikan beberapa kepada setiap orang dan menyuruh mereka pergi untuk menanamnya di salju di sekitar istana. This is what I was bringing for Tsar. Ini yang aku bawa untuk Tsar. This young sapling will grow faster than anything in the world. Pohon-pohon muda ini akan tumbuh lebih cepat daripada apapun di dunia. And they will grow as I command them. Dan mereka akan tumbuh seperti apa yang kuperintahkan. Everyone did as they were asked. Mereka semua melakukan apa yang diminta. And planted the twigs one by one into the snow. Dan menanam ranting satu persatu ke dalam salju. Then the Forester marched among them. Lalu Forester berjalan-jalan di antara mereka, talking quietly and waving his hand while his friend watched. Berbicara pelan-pelan dan melambaikan tangan sementara teman-temannya melihatnya. At first, nothing happened. Awalnya tidak terjadi apa-apa. Then, in the moonlight, kemudian di bawah sinar bulan, they saw the first twig began to move. Mereka melihat ranting pertama mulai bergerak. As it grew and grew, it put out low branches like leg. Saat tumbuh dan berkembang, ranting itu mengeluarkan cabang-cabang rendah seperti kaki. And high one like arm. Dan cabang yang lebih tinggi seperti lengan. While the top of the trunk formed a kind of head. Sedangkan bagian atas batangnya membentuk semacam kepala. If they had not known it was a tree, jika mereka tidak tahu itu adalah pohon, they would have been sure it must be a man. Mereka pasti yakin itu adalah seorang pria. A man carrying a fearsome sword. Seorang pria membawa pedang yang menakutkan. All the other trees began to grow in the same way. Semua pohon lainnya mulai tumbuh dengan cara yang sama. Until the palace was surrounded by hundreds of trees in a frightening shape. Hingga istana dikelilingi oleh ratusan pohon dalam bentuk yang menakutkan. The next morning, the Chamberlain was woken by a pounding on the gates of the palace. Keesokan harinya, bendahara raja dibangunkan oleh gedoran di gerbang pintu istana. It was the Forester. Itu adalah Forester, demanding to be let in, menuntut untuk diizinkan masuk. When the Chamberlain looked out the window, ketika Chamberlain atau bendahara raja melihat keluar jendela, he saw that the place was surrounded by the what he thought was terrifying army. Istana dikelilingi oleh apa yang dia pikir adalah pasukan yang menakutkan. He ran to Tsar. Dia lari ke Kaisar Tsar. We'll have to give in, Your Majesty. Kita harus menyerah, Yang Mulia. What is it they want? Apa yang mereka inginkan? Asked Tsar. Tanya Tsar. Sharpshooter spoke for all of them. Sharpshooter berbicara untuk mereka semua. First, he said, pertama katanya, they wanted the Pyotr to be released. Mereka ingin Pyotr dibebaskan. Secondly, they wanted him to marry Princess Alexia. Mereka ingin dia menikahi putri Alexia. As the Tsar had promised to the man who brought him a flying ship, seperti yang dijanjikan Tsar kepada pria membawakan kapal terbang. And thirdly, dan yang ketiga, they all wanted to remain in the palace to serve the Tsar with all the power. Mereka semua ingin tetap tinggal di istana untuk melayani Tsar dengan segenap kekuatan mereka. What should I say? Asked the Tsar. Apa yang harus katakan? Tanya Tsar. Alexia leaned over and kissed him on the cheek. Alexia membungkuk dan mencium pipinya. I should say yes, she said. Aku harus mengatakan iya, katanya. So Pyotr and Alexia were married and Pyotr was reunited with his parents. Jadi, Pyotr dan Alexia menikah dan Pyotr dipertemukan kembali dengan orang tuanya. Even Boris and Sergei, bahkan dengan Boris dan Sergei, who had finally come home and been forgiven, yang akhirnya pulang dan dimaafkan, were allowed to attend the grand ball that followed the wedding, yang diizinkan untuk menghadiri pesta dansa besar setelah pernikahan, and dance with the prettiest ladies of Tsar Nikolai's court, dan berdansa dengan para wanita tercantik di istana Tsar Nikolai. But the Lord Chamberlain was not allowed to come to the ball. Tetapi bendahara raja tidak diizinkan datang ke pesta dansa. At the end of the evening, Boris came to Prince Pyotr and Princess Alexia. Di penghujung malam, Boris mendatangi Pangeran Pyotr dan Putri Alexia and asked them what was to be done with the flying ship. Dan bertanya kepada mereka apa yang harus dia lakukan dengan kapal terbang itu. Pyotr said he had quite forgotten about it all the excitement. Pyotr berkata bahwa dia cukup melupakan kapal terbang itu karena terlalu bersemangat. But of course, it belonged to Tsar now. Tetapi tentu saja itu milik Tsar sekarang. Pyotr had Alexia. Pyotr memiliki Alexia. And Tsar had his ship. Dan Tsar memiliki kapalnya. Of course, cried the Tsar. Tentu saja, seru Tsar. It is my ship now. Ini kapalku sekarang. I shall go for a ride in it at once. Sekarang aku harus menaikinya. I think you might be too late, father, said Alexia. Aku pikir kau mungkin terlambat, ayah, kata Alexia, who was looking out of the window, yang sedang melihat keluar jendela. Too late, said the Tsar. Sangat terlambat, kata Tsar, rushing to the window, bergegas menuju jendela. But the flying ship was already beginning to move. Tetapi kapal terbang itu sudah mulai bergerak. And as they looked down, they could see that there was someone riding in it. Dan ketika mereka melihat ke bawah, mereka dapat melihat bahwa ada seseorang yang mengendarainya. It was the old man Pyotr had met in the forest. Itu adalah lelaki tua yang ditemui Pyotr di hutan. As the ship began to gather speed and rise swiftly over the palace wall, saat kapal itu mulai menambah kecepatan dan naik dengan cepat melewati tembok istana, he turned and raised his hand to the figures at the window. Dia berbalik dan mengangkat tangannya ke sosok orang di jendela. They could just hear his word. Mereka hanya bisa mendengar kata-katanya, carried on the wind, terbawa angin. Farewell, young prince. Selamat tinggal, pangeran muda, said the old man, kata lelaki tua itu. The ship turned and flew, faster and faster. Kapal berputar dan terbang semakin cepat dan cepat. Back past the window, kembali melewati jendela, and up into the sky, dan terbang ke arah langit. His voice echoed around them as the ship sailed up and up into the night. Suaranya bergema di sekitar mereka saat kapal berlayar naik ke langit malam, becoming smaller and smaller until two become a twinkling star in the moonlight sky overhead. Semakin kecil hingga menjadi bintang yang berkelap-kelip di langit yang diterangi cahaya bulan di atas kepala. Farewell, old man, said Pyotr and Alexia. Selamat tinggal, Pak Tua, kata Pyotr and Alexia. We'll never forget you. Kami tidak akan pernah melupakanmu. And they never did. Dan mereka tidak pernah melakukannya. The end. Thanks so much for listening, you guys. I'm glad this story have a happy ending, and I'll see you in the next book. Bye-bye.